Hi, Chris Paff from Chris Paff Tech Media LLC back here in the Blue Room at Gamla Norigin. And we have the fabulous Tanja Lindboe, who's head of TV product development from NRK with us. Welcome, Tanja.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Well, we had a little bit of a chat earlier. You're in this interesting position because NRK, of course, is a pubcaster, which has innovated beyond all measure, not just in Norway, but I think in the Nordics in general. So why don't you describe what you do, and then we'll dive in a bit more in particular and what that means in the market.
Sure. Well, I started at NRK back in 2015, and in 2015 it was one of those years where you saw the huge change in how viewing habits went from broadcast to streaming, basically. And within NRK, you had kind of this minor division within the rest of the division, looking into how especially younger users are starting to consume media in new and more interesting ways. And at a quite early point, NRK really decided to invest in having a lot of competency in-house. That means investing in, for example, having UX people, digital design, product people like myself, and also developers of both the APIs and on the client side as well, because we do have a belief is that we need to be able to kind of control what the environment is, because it's going to give us completely new ways of telling the stories that we need to create to really gather the Norwegian population. And that means not only creating like a TV show and not only creating a news story, but actually looking at everything the user has to do to be able to consume that story. And so there has been a lot of development within NRK, but I think at a fairly early point, we who were kind of the tech nerds were invited into more higher management groups, being able to talk to the people who are actually commissioning content, the people who are programming the linear channels, and being part of the strategic discussions about where is NRK going in the future. So being able to not only stay within one competency like product development and digital streaming, etc., but also the people who are thinking about what kind of content, what kind of stories, what kind of genres, what kind of events are important to tell. Those people being together with at the same table and hearing both the happy stories, but also the considerations, especially with, the tech giants out there.
Yeah, you're looking at a market that, as we saw from data that was presented by Kantar Media this morning from Knut Arne, that there are very strong players in this market who, of course, can stand up on their own 2 feet vis-a-vis the Netflixes or HBO Max or Amazon Prime Video and others. But I want to get to what you said, because I find it fascinating that you have digital product people who are in essentially with programming people.
Yeah.
And so the term development, and some people in TV means, developing content, possibly even being involved on the acquisition side. That to me is really the way to go ultimately, but harder to achieve than to actually say.
Yeah, and it means that we don't do strategy every 5 years. We have a strategy year that kind of goes with a lot of rethinking what was thought about during the last year, and also evaluating everything from what did we do within the past 3 years and what happens into the past year that we went through, and actually reacting to it quite quickly. So even though commissioning, for example, as we all know, commissioning a drama show, it takes many years. Mm-hmm. So basically having all those facts and having all those experiences being part of a yearly process really helps to pivot quickly enough on doing things differently. And also, for example, when we wanted to talk more with how can we connect to the audiences, allowing them to participate in both the entertainment shows, but also the news sites and etc. It can't be something that is just kind of like you have the highest boss up there who says, now we're going to do that. The whole organization needs to understand, why are we doing it? What is the needs of the audience? What is the needs of NRK? Why are we doing this all together to actually make people find that task interesting and fun to do? And it's really about creating an environment where people are not afraid to make mistakes either, and are basically allowed to do things that's kind of out of the box and not being fired if everything goes horribly wrong. And we have a lot of things that has went wrong as well. For example, when we first started doing a lot of the online voting and doing more than just online voting, we have a team that works a lot with audience interaction and actually works on how what you're doing on your mobile actually is represented on the TV screen. And the first time that happened, that was for the local Eurovision, the Norwegian Song Contest, where you choose the participant who's going to go into the Eurovision Song Contest, and the voting system went down because of digital issues. And I never heard anyone blaming the team, saying like, when we were evaluating on what happened and etc., it wasn't about pointing fingers at the team not being prepared. It was more about, okay, why didn't we have a contingency plan? Why did we only have the voting digital? Why didn't we have the backup systems? Why didn't we think about the storytelling? So it becomes a problem for everyone, not kind of just pushing blame. And it also means that if you have a success, it becomes a shared success. It's not about one person standing there saying, I had the idea. It's about everyone coming together and just...
That's fantastic. Yeah, and I think that you're also in an environment where there is, I think, a built-in idea of having innovation not as an adjunct. One of my dear colleagues who couldn't make it here today, Trygve Refem, who we worked with on VMO, and he went to MTG and was head of MTGX for a brief time, which was doing that level of innovation for that group. Again, not a pubcaster, but we always look at the public broadcaster as being inherently the innovator of whatever the technology is, whether it's high definition or closed captioning. I'm speaking from the U.S., but BBC, of course, has a massive budget, and and the iPlayer came out of that, among other things. So we see that, but your level of responsiveness, I think, is remarkable. From that design and delivery perspective.
Yeah, thank you. But I think I have an amazing team in NRK. I mean, there are so many excellent designers, excellent people really thinking holistically about NRK. But we also get something for free. And that is, we don't have to care about ads. I don't have to implement ad tech. I don't have to look into that kind of revenue boosting. Everything that matters is, do we get enough viewers? Do we get enough users to actually be participating? And we don't have to put a payment wall in front of that either. So that really means that we can focus on the experience. So that's kind of a gift, I think, that we don't have to think about the money we just have to not spend too much money because we do have a set budget, so we can't innovate into the heavens, or either we still have to think about, okay, this is the budget for this year, what can we do, what can we think more smartly about? But I used to work for Norwegian TV 2.
Oh, there we go. Well, that doesn't surprise me at all.
But
Yeah.
so I know how much time and effort it takes for the development team to build the billing solutions, make sure everything works there, build the streaming ad services, and etc. So, and it's all about, I mean, it's a small country. You have a limited amount of people who can work within the industry as well. So you have to be really smart about what people work on, and if your business is depending on, for example, ads and billing and etc. Of course, you have to prioritize that. So I feel kind of fortunate that I can really just look into the more fun problems to solve.
Yeah, but it doesn't surprise me, as I said, that you come from TV2 because they have incubated so many groundbreaking ventures, everything from VizRT on down to Vermond, and I mean, you name it.
Clipping room.
I mean, it's remarkable, and I think that speaks well to a sense of cohesion in the industry. Have you been to this event before, Northern Waves?
Yes, I went in 2019.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the before times. Yeah.
In the before times, but I got 2 small children within a couple of short time spans, so now I'm back.
There we go. Okay. Well, it's good to have you back, and also good to meet you. Tanja Lindboe from NRK. Thank you very much.
Thank you.